every different thing. It was just like, well, we want more of fairness. We want less racism. Like, okay, do you have a plan for that? Or are you just saying things? Oh, look at that smile. He's about to get into it. Get into it. Let's get into it.
It is astounding to me to think that the left doesn't produce that type of vitriolic reactionary behavior when we just came off of the largest riots in the history of like the entire United States with the whole BLM stuff.
I mean, based, but again, I don't think that's what she meant. I don't think that's what she meant. Because like the level of vitriol absolutely is there on the left. We're talking about in the political propaganda messaging. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you for stopping by, Jess. Very much appreciate it. You have a good one.
To say that we can't activate people on a local level is astounding to me. I think we absolutely did activate people on a local level. But the problem was that the influencers and the leaders in charge, instead of pointing towards good policy decisions, I think when it comes to being an influencer, being a voice, being a speaker, sometimes it becomes more of an exercise in ego, and then all the horrible things that come along with that: virtue signaling, infighting, excising people that we don't like, standing in front of big crowds, collecting a lot of money and doing nothing. We get all these people together, we get them riled up, we get them rioting, but then what are the policy aims behind it? Like, we had the same problem with Occupy Wall Street. What were the policy aims with that? There was nothing. Like, corporations aren't people in what, a tax sense? Like, it didn't even make sense. You know, the same thing with the BLM stuff. Like, what were the
I was just gonna say that. I was just gonna say that was the exact same thing with BLM. Is that there's all these riots and like, okay, what is it that you would like? What is it that you do here? What can we like? What is your goal? Every different thing. It was just like, well, we want more of fairness. We want less racism. Like, okay, do you have a plan for that? Or are you just saying things? Just saying things. That's always what it was. What about me said, oh yeah, that was, still don't understand. Oh, did you redo that one? Okay, I understand that the hills they say they would die on are not true. As they get pushback, they flee the battle where the right holds the ground to a point. There you go. There you go. It just says, I mean, some policies did change after the BLM protest, right? But the protests themselves, we're talking about the protests themselves. Saying to go out and have a protest is usually to say we would like this to happen, and so we are protesting to make sure that this happens. Things changed. But that was because the Democratic politicians were like, oh shit, we got to do something here. We got to do something that's going to make them happy. And it made the politicians figure out what they want. If I want something, or if I'm protesting something, then I should know, and I should be very open about what I want instead. There's a video from Liberty Hangout with Caitlin Bennett. I forget exactly what the event was, but it was, of course, at a college, and the protest was a silent protest, and all the kids came out with tape over their mouth, and she's there with a microphone. She's like, would anybody like to tell us what we're doing here? What are we hoping to accomplish? I have a big channel, you know, now's the time. You're here protesting. Now's the time to get your word out. It's like, what are you doing? You're virtue signaling. You want to be one of the people who, when there's pictures taken, when you're on the news, I was there, I fought for our rights, I did this, that, and the other. No, you didn't. I want to pose that some states basically made petty theft legal after and during the riots. Was that the goal? Great point. Trey says the police reform bill was proposed and made to the Senate, but the Democrats walked away from the bill because of qualified immunity. Interesting. Just said the initial BLM protests were because the officers didn't get charged. Was that Trayvon Martin or was that Michael Brown? But even so, the 2020 riots were not about those. And so if that's what it started, then same thing with Occupy Wall Street. That Occupy Wall Street started by getting the rich to pay their fair share, that whole thing. But then all this woke BS intersectionality got injected into all the libs that were there, and then that's what they ran on. Although, I mean, it said the goal was for small businesses to fail and blame it on Trump for having a bad economy. Well, if that was the point, then definitely they won. Yeah, hands up to, or that was So hands up, down, don't shoot was Michael Brown. That's also Michael Brown, I'm pretty sure. No, okay. But again, see, we don't know. We're all here like, I think it's hands up, don't shoot. I think it was about the opposition card. I think like, that's the point. We don't know. We should know. They had this thing. This is what they wanted. They wanted that.
Policy goals after that. Some people, sad enough, actually tried to fight with certain policy goals. I remember 8 Can't Wait was one of those. And so many people on the left made fun of those people. They were like, oh, you can't, this 8 Can't Wait and blah, blah, blah.
I don't even, does anybody know what 8? Yeah, that's a Google. That's a Google. All right, let's see what we got. Update since June 2020. Interact with the map for details. Okay. Policy. Okay, so at least they've got policies enacted. Research shows more restrictive use of force policies are associated with fewer police killings. Tell your city. There you go. Tell your city to adopt all 8 of these policies. This is what you want. Tell your city to do this. We have these 8 things. This is what we would like. And so now, again, I didn't hear about this because apparently, according to Destiny, they were all making fun of it. So then it didn't go anywhere. Multiple Media said, hands up, don't shoot. Sometimes shortened to hands up is a slogan and gesture. Yeah, I know, but BLM started with Trayvon Martin, didn't it? I thought so. I don't know. Either way. But of course, his hands were not up. And so, in fact, do shoot because he is trying to grab your gun. Where were we?
And so many people on the left made fun of those people. They were like, oh, you can't, this 8 Can't Wait and blah, blah, blah. We need to abolish the police. We need to defund the police.
And we all know how that worked out.
Place where they tried that, it basically failed and everything was reverted like in a year or two. I think that the left can activate people on a local level. I think they've done it. We all just watched them do it for an entire season of rioting. I think the problem is we just don't point at effective policy goals, because I think really it relates back to the first question. It feels like sometimes when I look at people on the left that do online politics, it feels like it's an exercise in ego flexing and financial furthering and these types of like clout building activities, rather than what are the things that I can do to activate my audience to go to a local election and vote.
Exactly what I just said. It's virtue signaling for the ego, for personal gain. It's not about moving our country forward. For some people it is, but they're so far and few and far between that, number one, they have all these crappy ideas, and then they're lost in a crowd of other people who don't care about anything but themselves, so nothing gets done. Nothing gets done. And Trey's talking about the 2020 riots being just a bunch of things. Charlottesville was 2017, bro. Remember, Charlottesville was 2017. Different unarmed people getting pulled by the police to the lot. Oh, so it's saying all together. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. But again, the issue is I'm not saying that well, number one, I'm certainly not saying it was okay to riot, but I'm not saying that there was no reason. I'm not saying that they had no reason. I'm saying they had no message. What is the hateful eight or whatever it was? We have these 8 points that we would like. That is how you protest. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed that clip, check out the full live stream link in the bio and catch me live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. See you there.